post the real shit. So here's the real shit. I am leaving this country, the United States, in 213 days. My son and I are moving, and I am spending day after day researching schools, where to live, how to afford this, visas, taxes, everything. And I'm angry. I'm angry because I shouldn't have to. I shouldn't have to leave this place. I shouldn't have to walk away from everything I know. But my son got death threats in school recently, and we know what that can escalate to, and of course the schools aren't handling it the way they should. Between looking for jobs for, month after month after month, I can't be here anymore. I can't breathe here. I am sitting here, though, worried because I've got two other kids who are in college here, and they're not ready to leave. And I want to make sure that I've got a place where they can make a soft landing if they need to get out. I am dealing with all of this, and none of us should have to. And I know that there are people that can't leave, and I'm sorry. I am. That doesn't mean you get angry at those who can. I'm not trying to ask anyone to assimilate to me. Okay, I am moving, and I expect to fully have to assimilate into that culture as much as I possibly can. But for 1 second, understand why people are leaving. And this is so freaking hard, and I haven't even really started yet. I guess I have, but I haven't. I don't know. Anyway, I'm rambling, but if you want real, this was real.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. A lot of people that are feeling the way that the last lady is feeling. And because of that, and all of the reasons that she laid out, leaving America is what seems to be the solution for them. And so the reason I'm making this video today, while things are a little calmer, if you're celebrating these holidays or whatever, is to really plant a couple of seeds with you if this is a path or route that you are really going to take, because it's a big step, right? And that is the nature, the purpose of the video. And I would like for you all to tell me if some of the things that the first video went over resonates with you, and or if you were thinking about leaving, and if so, why? And then lastly, where you might go, because I think that will help those of you that are thinking or implementing a plan like this to move abroad, because as she says, it's hard. It's a huge undertaking that a lot of people might underestimate and not really prepare as much as possible. Hi, my name is Robert, and on this channel, we simplify the home loan process.
So one day me and my husband was like, we tired of America, let's leave. And we did just that, and we ain't looked back since. Now, we did have a lot of behind the scenes work that we had to do. One of those things that we had to do was we had to sell our two businesses. One of the things that we did not do was go and ask a whole lot of people what they thought about us moving. Because sometimes when you tell people about your plans, they not happy for you, or they just don't like it. But if you know a Leo, once our minds is made up, we getting it. Now, I have to tell you, our children really were not that excited. They are 12 and 17 now. But once they started living abroad, started immersing themselves in the culture, making friends, and learn the language, they love it here.
One thing that she said that's very important is that you have to make sure that you are able to take care of yourself financially. She mentioned that they had a couple of businesses, and I'm sure her experience thus far has not been one that is difficult. Think about it like this. Wherever you're going, there's people that are already there. And if there's any government or anything of that nature in place, they're going to take care of their people first. And most places where you might endeavor to go, that's one of the prerequisites. If you're not just there short time on visas, if you're planning on actually living there, the government wants to know that you are able to sustain yourself, because again, they have their own people. Secondly, I think she makes a very valid point, not just with moving abroad, but a lot of big decisions that you're making. Too many of you all ask too many people, and that can deter you from doing what it is that you need to do. So again, if you have the conviction to do this tangibly, you have to understand the weight and the gravity of it, how it affect your children, your extended family members, so on and so forth. And do you have the financial means, not just to go, but sustain yourself while you're there? And so think along those lines when you're making this decision, and don't just be emotional about it, because these things are very important. Now, this next gentleman is going to really deal with an area that I think is very important for you to consider as you're making your decision or preparing to make your decision to leave America, if that's what you want to do, because this is something that you might not be cognizant of just because of where you grew up.
If you're planning on leaving the United States to live abroad, stay until the end of this video, because I have something very important to share with you, something that nobody talks about, something that might either help you in your transition, or it might make you change your mind and stay in the US. Let me explain. There are two types of societies in this world: the individualistic society and the community-based society. The US is an example of an extremely individualistic society where you were taught that you are unique, you are special, you're the best, you deserve things just because you exist. The sense of community is almost non-existent. You probably don't even know your neighbors, or maybe you know them, but only on the surface. And your life is based between your work and home. And almost all entertainment you get is inside your home. Countries like this are the US, Canada, more or less UK and North Europe, and probably Australia. The rest of the world is the community-based society. Now, why is this important? If you are moving to any of the countries in the rest of the world, like Mexico, Colombia, Costa Rica, Brazil, Portugal, Spain, the whole East Europe, and you bring your individualistic mentality with you, be ready to be disliked by people who live there. People will think that you are arrogant, that you're selfish, entitled, and sooner or later, you will start feeling consequences of that. The consequences might be very subtle, from people disliking you, making you feel a bit uncomfortable, not helping you when you're in need, or making your life harder without you even noticing it. In general, you will feel unwelcome. Now, if you start demanding things for yourself, demanding special treatment, the consequences can be harsh. Because these societies are community-based, the whole community will rise against you. You might face protests, riots, and this happened multiple times in Mexico when people from the US were complaining about the local music, for example. I'm sure you heard about it. However, if you put just a little bit of an effort to become part of the community, people will recognize that and they will appreciate it. And you will discover the whole new world of opportunities. People will welcome you, they will help you when you're in need, they will be inviting you to their celebrations and parties, and you will discover that you are a part of something much bigger. You will feel stronger, more protected, something that you probably never felt in the US. Now, if you're not ready to make that shift in your mentality, but you still want to get out of the US, then I advise you, go to Canada, go to the UK, go to North Europe or Australia, because the rest of the world is not for you.
Beautifully said. Thank you, sir, for that in service, if you will, on the mindset, because that's the thing that a lot of people don't understand. You've been programmed a certain way. Whenever we're traveling, and we've been blessed to do, one thing that I always like to do if and when possible, is get among the people, the locals, and so that you can see how they're living. And some of the westernized countries that he spoke about, when you go to these places, the arrogance oozes out of you. And you might not be one that's dealing with arrogance, but just the time frame, the hustle and bustle that you're accustomed to. When you go to a lot of these other places, time is on a different schedule, and the convenience that you've been accustomed to, so on and so forth, comes off as arrogance, if that makes sense. So in all of your get this understanding. First and foremost, make sure you understand what it is that you're doing and why you're doing it. And that's very key. Get as much advice as you can from those that have been, and not just what it is that you want to hear. Make sure financially you can sustain yourself. Consider this. A lot of folks are down on the US, but you're spending the dollar. If the dollar goes away and you fully have to take on the community mindset and immerse yourself in some of these places that you want to go, will you be able to do so? Right? Or are you taking the arrogance from here and colonizing somewhere else because you can live better than the locals? That's what I heard the gentleman saying. So understand, when you're making these declarations, especially if you're saying they're based in the scriptures, make sure you take yourself out of them, because if that's the case, you should be able to do so without the dollar. Consider that. Also consider, when you go, that you're in somebody else's house. And that's something that, because of how we all been indoctrinated, if you're not practicing it, you don't know how much of that you need. And so I wish you well. And I wish that whatever it is that you endeavor to do brings you peace, because that's the key. If you are here in these United States and you say, hey, I'm good, I want to get onto the property ladder, we would love to have a conversation with you, because I am a lender. NMLS license number 180100. My contact information is in the description of the video below. My time is up, but I thank you for yours. As I always say, let's be good to one another. Let grace abound. Check out these 2 videos if you want to continue your education in how to become a successful homeowner. Until the next time, indeed, y'all stay blessed.